In today's video, I'm going to be giving you a couple of plays and strategies that you could run so that you can beat every single team that runs a 2-3 zone defense on you. If you want to have the unbeatable basketball zone defense, make sure to go check out the link down in the description below if you want to be able to basically not allow anyone to score along the baseline or in the low post. Let's get down. Let's check this out. So one of the most easiest ways that we can beat a 2-3 zone defense at the youth level is by running essentially a 5-out pass and cut offense. This actually works extremely well. So in a 2-3, usually what you will find is these two top players will be trying to trap or at least force player one to dribble towards the left or right side. This will usually have these wing players play a bit higher. At this time, in a pass and cut 5-out offense, you can have player one pass over to player three, and then player one will then cut towards the basket on the side of the key that he passed to. We don't want to pass over here and then cut down here. There's just way too much space in between to be able to pass the ball. So as soon as player one passes that ball over to player three, player two is going to be moving over. Potentially player three is going to be cutting off the passing lane. Player five is going to move over. Player one is going to be moving to the post. Player four is going to be moving to the low post. One's to the high post. And then when player one cuts on this side, player one will cut. Player three will then pass to player one quickly, trying to get it into that post. Now, player one could take one dribble, and if player five didn't rotate fast enough, this could be a layup, but usually he will. This will collapse the defense. You'll kick the ball out to player five for a 3-point shot. So it's a very quick movement where you have player one pass over to player three, player one cuts, passes quick, these two players collapse, then you kick it out, and player five shoots. So that's one really easy way to beat a 2-3 zone. Another way is to get a player into the high post. Really quickly, however, if you want the complete guide to the 5-out basketball offense, make sure to go check out the link down in the description below. To get a player into the high post, all you need to do is run a 4-out or a 3-2 offense. Let's start with a 4-out. We'll have player five cut to the high post. Player one will dribble over, player two or three will move over, and now we are essentially running a 4-out offense. Now, player five is going to be able to get that ball into that high post. That's going to be drawing up player five red. And again, the whole idea with pass and cut, have player one cut to the basket. He could be wide open for the layup. Player three is going to be moving up towards the point. By this time, you're going to have multiple players on player five. He could kick the ball out for a 3-point shot. We're really moving this defense around at this point. Player three could then pass to player one. While the defense is shifting, we could have player five get to the low post, get that ball. Player one could then cut. Player three then fills down. This could be an easy pass to player one for a layup. There are a lot of different options here with just getting the ball into the post and cutting to the basket. One of the more old school yet most commonly used plays up here to beat a 2-3 zone is to run a 3-out offense, or what's also called a 1-3-1, where we have a player in the high post, a player in the low post, and a player on either wing. The whole idea here is to be able to get that ball into the high post, to draw up player five. At this time, we're going to be having either player two open or four open, one or the other, but one of those two players is going to be open because everyone collapses in the high post on a 2-3, and then you can kick that ball out for a 3-point shot or down into that low post. A great play that you could run out of the 5-out is a fantastic horns play. Horns out of a 5-out is just absolutely beautiful because there's a lot of movement and no screens needed. So if you're playing in Europe and you've got like a youth team in Europe, I know there's a lot of different leagues over there for kids that cannot use screens. This could actually be a fantastic play for you. Player one can get the ball into either player four or five. If the ball goes to player five, that's always going to bring player five red up. Player four is going to be covering in, and player four blue needs to cut across to this side. We want player five to hit player four with the ball or with the pass somewhere in that range to get that layup. If the defense collapses, then he can kick the ball out for 3-point shots in the corner. If that pass goes out to the corner, at that time, we're going to have player five pop out, swing that ball back around, and again now inside, out, kick, swing, he could have a 3. That's going to swing the ball and the defense around. It's going to be really messing up the defense. We can swing that ball back around again. Player 2 moves up, player 4 moves out, and again, we could literally run the exact same play once again, or we could run a different play. We could run a 4-out. It doesn't necessarily matter what you're doing, but you could run, again, another play. So overall, ways that you can beat a 2-3 zone is very simple. You get the ball into the high post, and then you basically look for cutters or look for, of course, what the defense is doing, because what the defense does not want is the ball into the high post for any high to low post passes, because that is the easiest way to beat a 2-3 zone. Another great play that I like to run too is to have player 1 pass over to player 2. That's going to draw the defense over, and then the wing on the opposite side of to where you have passed, player 5 then cuts across and goes to that high post. Player 2 passes the ball in, and that usually does collapse that defense. And now I have the player from the opposite side go to the Russian spot, which is just behind the backboard, because this is going to be bringing that player 5 up as well. And we can have a high post to baseline pass where player 1 just needs to take one step and get the layup. These are fantastic, easy options that you can run with any team. And from basically grade 6 and above, you should be able to just draw this up where you can say, okay, we already know the 5-out offense. Now, if you pass to the wing, the opposite wing does a high cut across the free throw line. You hit him with that pass, and then one of the baseline players, one of the corner players cuts. It doesn't necessarily have to be the opposite side. You choose, or you both cut, one or the other. And we can then get ourselves some easy layups. Pull these guys out of the zone and then go back into man-to-man defense. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, hit that like button and subscribe. And I'll see you guys again next time.